Alright, so I have this Kubota BX tractor. I didn't see any videos online about this, so I thought I'd throw one together real quick. The rear PTO has a leak, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with it, but I'm pretty sure it's this gasket right here. If you see that kind of rubber ring around the PTO, if it's full of fluid, which mine's not, all the fluid's run out. But when I went like this, you'd see beads of fluid come out right on the bottom of the PTO, right about there. And at one point I saw a piece of that gasket kind of break off. I can't quite see where it came from right now, but there was a little piece of rubber sticking out of it, which I believe was a piece of the gasket. So this is the gasket I'm going to put in to replace it. It should be the right one. It looks right. It looks like this is the inside. You can see that little metal ring in there. So that should be in where the fluid is. And this looks just like the outside. So I'm going to try to get the old one off and slap this one on there. There's the part number if you need to know. It was for a BX 2380, but it looked like it was for pretty much anything with the same size PTO, which was a lot of different tractors. Oil seal, PTO oil seal. So this thing really doesn't want to break loose very easily, but it looks like you can just kind of pry it off. I have never done this before, but I've worked on plenty of things, and it doesn't look like there's much to it. So I'll just kind of work it off of there and hope I can slip the other one, the new one, on. Alright, so this gasket just popped off. I'm going to slide it off the rear PTO. Oh, and it looks like the little spring. Oh yeah, look at that. It's yeah, that thing came apart. So before I put the new gasket on, I just wanted to get a better look at this to make sure there's nothing damaged in here, and show you that, I mean, if something hit it and caused that gasket to fail, it doesn't look like anything's damaged. The shaft has very little play. Those bearings look good, everything's moving. I don't see any cracks or scoring. If the whole thing got pushed in, it's hard to tell. I can't see anything that's messed up, so hopefully that's not what happened. But do you think if it got pushed in, there'd be some play when I pulled on this? But that doesn't seem to be the case. So it looks like I got it on there nice and tight. Everything looks pretty sealed up. What I was able to do, there's probably a tool that fits over the PTO to hammer that on smoothly, or a really big socket. The biggest socket I have is 32 millimeters. It did not fit. So what I did was I took the old gasket, I stuck it on there like that, and then I just used the top flat surface of a hammer and just tapped all the way around. Just tapped it like that. Not too hard. It wasn't that hard to get on. Just kept tapping it, and then you can pull the gasket back off. And you can see when that seal, that outer ring with the little slots in it, is flush. And it looks like it's on there, so I'm gonna put fluid in and give it a whirl. Probably won't be using the tractor for a little while. The weather's really bad, but I'll put an update in if there's any issues, if I have to do this again. But we'll get the fluid in there, give it a whirl. One recommendation is to get it, if your fluid hasn't drained all the way out like mine has, you're gonna have fluid come out when you take that gasket off. Get it tilted forward so you don't lose a bunch of fluid or make a mess with it. I didn't have any fluid come out. I think it was just barely showing on the dipstick. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. So it does have fluid in it. I bought a gallon. I'm going to put a gallon, probably not a full gallon. I'm going to put it in, see how it does. And I think it should be a lot better. One thing you'll notice, if you don't know, when the fluid's low, you can definitely feel it the way it drives. I don't know if the pressure doesn't build up as much or what, but the throttle response goes way down, gets to the point where it hardly moves in low gear when you put your foot on the floor. I noticed it does that when the fluid's low, so hopefully I'll top this off and it should improve my throttle response. I guess it's not called a throttle, but the forward pedal. I shouldn't have to put it all the way on the floor to get moving more than 1 or 2 miles an hour. So I should be able to notice pretty quick that the pressure's building up, and like I said, I'll give an update, see how it goes. Again, it's a BX 2380 with about 110 hours on it. 112 hours, and like I said, it had been leaking for probably 20 or 30 hours for quite a few hours, and still don't know what caused it, so hopefully we'll figure that out at some point.